The rain came down like it was trying to wash the whole world away. My wipers couldn't keep up, and then I saw him, standing on the shoulder, soaked to the bone, next to a dead motorcycle. I should have kept driving, but something in his eyes made me stop. Before we begin, tell us where in the world are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Your every comment, gift, and membership helps us bring more heart-touching stories to your life. I was heading back from a double shift at the lumber yard, hands still aching, mind foggy with exhaustion. My little girl, Emma, was asleep in the back seat, clutching her stuffed rabbit. The storm was relentless, a wall of gray that swallowed the highway. That's when the figure emerged from the mist. Leather cut, patches faded, boots caked in mud. He was a statue in the rain, standing beside a Harley that looked older than me. His head was bowed, but as my headlights washed over him, he lifted his face. There was something raw in his eyes. Not fear, not anger, but a strange mix of pride and loneliness. I slowed, torn between the voice in my head screaming, "Keep driving," and the ache in my chest that whispered, "Stop." I pulled over. My tires splashed in the shoulder gravel. He didn't move, didn't wave, just stood there like the storm didn't matter. I cracked the window, rain instantly spraying my face. "Need a lift?" I called. My voice barely cut through the wind. He stared for a moment before answering. "Bike's dead. Won't start. Been here a while." His words were low, raspy, almost reluctant. I glanced at Emma, still sleeping, then back at him. There were Hell's Angel patches on his vest. Every news headline I'd ever read about bikers flashed in my mind. But there was something else. The way his shoulders drooped under the weight of the storm. The way his lips trembled slightly though his face stayed hard. "You can throw the bike in the back of my truck," I said, surprising even myself. "Or at least get you somewhere dry." He didn't thank me, just gave a single nod, walked around, and opened the passenger door. The smell of gasoline and rain came in with him. He sat, dripping, silent. I pulled back onto the road, the wipers beating like a nervous heart. For 10 miles, neither of us spoke. The storm turned the world into a tunnel of rain, lit only by my dim headlights. Every so often, I'd glance sideways. He kept staring out the window like the darkness beyond it was more interesting than me. His knuckles were scraped raw. There was a deep scar on his cheek, pale against his tan skin. "Name's Jack," I finally said. He shifted, eyes still forward. "Cole." A pause. "Thanks for stopping." It was barely above a whisper, but it landed heavy. Emma stirred in the back seat, her small voice mumbling, "Daddy, that your girl?" he asked, his voice softer now. "Yeah, Emma." For the first time, he looked at me, really looked. "She's lucky. Not everyone's got someone who'll drive through hell to get them home." Something in his tone made me wonder who hadn't been there for him. We reached a gas station, the kind with buzzing lights and peeling paint. I pulled under the awning, killing the engine. "You can wait here while I grab coffee. Storm might pass in an hour." Cole shook his head. "Need to get somewhere tonight." His urgency made me curious. "Where?" "Doesn't matter. Just not here." The rain softened to a steady drizzle. We got out, the cool air biting. He moved like a man who'd been carrying too much for too long. Inside, the station was warm, smelling of burnt coffee and motor oil. I bought 2 cups, slid one across the counter to him. He didn't sip right away, just stared at the steam curling into the air, like it reminded him of something. Then, in that cramped little gas station, he said quietly, "I used to have a daughter." The words hung there between us, heavier than the storm. "Used to?" I asked gently. He nodded once. "She was 5. His gaze was far away now, somewhere I couldn't follow. "I wasn't the man I should have been back then." I didn't push for details. The pain in his voice said enough. Emma's laughter rang from outside. She'd woken up and was playing with the raindrops under the awning. Cole's eyes followed her, and for a second, his jaw tightened like he was holding back a wave. "You can ride with us," I said finally. "Wherever you're headed, we'll get you closer." He hesitated. "You don't know me." "I know enough," I said. He let out a dry laugh. "That's what worries me." We hit the road again, the rain tapering off into fog. Cole leaned back, one boot on the dash, the other tapping to some silent rhythm. I could feel his eyes on Emma in the mirror, like he was memorizing the sound of her giggles. An old country song came on the radio, one about roads, regrets, and second chances. Cole hummed along quietly, almost reverently. We passed a stretch of empty highway where the trees bent low from the storm. That's when headlights appeared in the mirror, fast, weaving. A black SUV came up behind us too close. My grip on the wheel tightened. "Don't slow down," Cole said, his voice suddenly sharp. "Why?" I asked. "They're not friends." The SUV swerved, its high beams flooding my rear view. Emma whimpered. Cole twisted in his seat, eyes locked on the vehicle. "Take the next exit," he barked. We did, tires screeching on the wet pavement. The SUV followed. My pulse pounded in my ears. Cole reached under his vest and I caught the glint of something metallic. "Keep driving," he said, low and controlled. We sped through a deserted industrial area, puddles splashing like explosions under the tires. The SUV stayed close until, suddenly, it peeled off, vanishing into the fog. I slowed, breath ragged. "What was that?" Cole looked straight ahead. "Let's just say, someone I used to know doesn't like that I'm still breathing." The rest of the drive was quiet, tension still humming like an invisible wire between us. We crossed into the outskirts of a small town, the kind where the streetlights buzz and every storefront is closed by 8 p.m. I pulled into a rundown motel. "Safe enough?" I asked. Cole shrugged. "Safe's never been in my vocabulary." I got Emma settled inside while Cole stayed out by the bike, tinkering with the engine under the flickering light. At one point, I watched him take off his leather vest and drape it carefully over the handlebars, like it was more than just clothing, like it was a history he couldn't escape. Later, over takeout burgers in the motel room, he finally spoke. "You didn't have to stop back there," he said. "Yeah," I replied, "but I did." He studied me for a long moment. "Most people see the patch and decide I'm trouble. You didn't." I thought about it. Storms have a way of stripping things down. Tonight, you just looked like a man in the rain. For the first time, a real smile tugged at his lips. "You ever ridden a bike?" I shook my head. "Maybe one day," he said. "I'll show you the road the way I see it." At dawn, the rain had cleared. Mist curled around the motel parking lot. Cole got the Harley running, the deep rumble breaking the quiet. He looked at me, then at Emma. "Thanks for the ride, Jack. Maybe I'll see you down the road." He swung onto the bike, revved the engine, then paused. "You know," he called over the noise, "some rides don't end where you think they will." And with that, he roared off into the morning. I watched until he disappeared into the fog, unaware that this stormy night was just the first chapter in a story neither of us saw coming. A story that would test loyalty, change lives, and carve our names into the road forever. If this story pulled you in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next chapter in Jack and Cole's journey. The road ahead is just getting started.